what keeps me up are the things that I know. The war in the region, in too many regions. What is AI going to do for us? The environment, are we moving at all fast enough? What are we doing about education? Are people going to vote? And why aren't people voting? Are we too stuck to our phones? I mean, those are the things that keep me up, because you don't have control over them. And you wonder, where are we in this? Where are our hearts? What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen, because our leaders matter. Who we select, who speaks for us, who holds that bully pulpit. It affects us in ways that sometimes I think people take for granted. The fact that people think that government, does it really even do anything? And I'm like, oh my God, does government do everything for us? And we cannot take this democracy for granted. And sometimes I worry that we do. Those are the things that keep me up.
Okay, so government does everything for us. We cannot take this democracy for granted. Man, spoken like a true communist. We don't have a democracy, first of all. I think even I have slipped up, and I've used this word too many times, and we got to stop doing this. This is a trick of the left. They want you to use their language. You adopt their language. We live in a representative republic. You can say we live in a democratic republic, meaning everyone gets to participate, but we elect representatives to represent us. Of course, that was the former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, and she claims that she is terrified. I am terrified of what could possibly happen. Speaking of the 2024 election, I have not spoken to this. I wanted to make sure that I did it today and that we got it out there in the ether. The only thing that Michelle Obama is concerned about is if Trump becomes the president, or if another Republican becomes a president, that they're not going to make $100 million in a year. They'll probably only make $50 million. These people aren't terrified. Or I'll take that back. I'll tell you what they're actually terrified about, because I want to inform you about the Obamas. I've done a podcast on this before. But this little outtake here, I just have to go back and do a refresher course, if you will. This lady and her husband were an absolute disaster when they were the president and the first lady of the United States. I take that back. She was a decent first lady. She was horrible on the campaign trail. She was obviously anti-American, but their administration was a disaster. They were a disaster for the United States of America. We had low economic growth. You saw racism skyrocket underneath Barack Obama. You saw the rise of the radical, the extreme LGBTQ movement. I mean, the communists within the movement. This is what we witnessed under the Obama administration. We saw the weaponization of the IRS, of the DOJ. We started seeing all of this under this administration. Listen, they did absolutely fine. This lady's such a fake and a fraud. They really are. They did absolutely fine under the Trump administration. These people have become wealthy beyond belief, yet they continue to perpetuate this narrative that America is systemically racist. And then if Donald Trump or Republican gets elected, it's going to end democracy as we know it. The problem is we have proof that it didn't end democracy. We all saw Melania Trump, and by the way, Melania Trump, my condolences. Her mother passes away at the age of 78 years old. So my condolences to the Trump family and to Melania Trump specifically. But we saw Melania Trump and Donald Trump get on Marine One, and they flew off, right? They flew off into the blue skies. They left the White House peacefully. All right. So this is just absolutely insane. So what she's really terrified of is she's terrified of anything. She's terrified that Barack Obama and she are going to lose their grip on the DC power base that they have. All right. She's terrified that the corruption during Barack's reign will be brought to light again. You guys might not remember this. Fast and Furious, when it was Eric Holder, the attorney general at the time, and Barack Obama, they were running guns illegally across the border because they wanted to undermine the Second Amendment. So they were running guns with American serial numbers, putting them in the hands of the cartels with the hopes that the cartels would use them. They would discover them, the DOJ, and then they would blame Americans for for weaponizing, if you will, the Mexican cartels. Also that they could undermine and attack the Second Amendment. This is how evil and twisted these people are. All right. And so I just want to remind you of this. She's terrified of nothing except that they will be exposed. Here's what they had to face, right? Here's what they had to face. Barack Obama leaves office and Trump comes in. And all of a sudden, wow, the economy gets better. And guys, I got to tell you, listen, I love Trump, but I do believe this. I do believe the economy, for the most part, would have been better under any Republican, because you had literally you used Paul Ryan's tax cut jobs, or Trump used Paul Ryan's tax cut jobs acts plan, and it made our economy skyrocket. Why was that? Simply because we didn't have a president in the White House that was an enemy of capitalism, that was an enemy to success, that was an enemy of the American dream. And so the economy started to skyrocket. And then Trump, you got to give him credit. The man was fabulous when it came to foreign policy. We didn't see all of the things that we're seeing now with these dictators, with this craziness that we're seeing, whether it's China aggression, whether it's Russia aggression, whether it's the Mexican president making demands on the United States of America if he's going to help stop, the flow of illegal migrants that are coming in through his country all the way up to the United States of America. We didn't experience that weakness under Trump, but we saw it under Obama, and we see it under Biden. And let's make no mistake about it. This is Obama's third term. So this is what they're terrified of. Their weakness, their whackness, if you will be brought back to light. Whether it's Fast and Furious, whether it's the IRS. And don't forget, they lied and said that we would save money with Obamacare. They don't want to see that go away. They want to see the fundamental transformation of America. That's what they wanted. That's what these communists, the Obamas, are nothing but racist, elitist ingrates that have become wealthy off the back of Americans. They would not have the success that they have if Barack Obama did not become president of the United States. They don't have the talent for it. This stuff just drives me insane. These people were so freaking corrupt, and they don't get the credit for being corrupt. And think about this. It was Joe Biden under their administration that was cooking up deals using his crackhead son with foreign nationals, making buku money right under their noses. Barack Obama was the president at the time. You don't think he knew about that? You don't think his CIA, you don't think his FBI, you don't think they informed him of this? And consider this. Let's go back. Biden was corrupt as a senator, and yet Barack Obama chose him as his VP. What does that say about the Obamas? Imagine all of the stuff that will be unearthed if Trump or a DeSantis gets in the White House. That's what they're terrified for, because now I believe the Obamas are playing a much larger role in the Biden administration than we might believe. So imagine if all of those little details start to leak out. We all know that Biden is a figurehead. He thinks he's running the show. I'm sure Jill Biden is doing her best to run the show, but ultimately there's going to be a determination made. I'm not sure if Biden will be the nominee. I went from completely thinking Gavin Newsom would be the guy, and I'm still not convinced that he won't. Still not convinced that he won't be for 2024. But once all of this craziness started breaking out around the world, Israel, Hamas, I was like, they're going to keep Biden in because they're going to say that he has the credibility, even though he's been an absolute disaster, whether it's the Afghanistan debacle, Russia, Ukraine, they're going to say he has the foreign policy gravitas. You know what I'm saying? But this is what the Obamas are just terrified that they'll be exposed. But look at her answers. We need somebody, that speaks well, like her husband did, that's good at giving speeches, but horrible when it comes to governing. Government is supposed to do everything. Government does so much. See, the goal is not for the government to do that much, Michelle Obama. This is a free country, or it was. It was a relatively free country. Lord knows it became less free once your husband became president of the United States of America. These are people that are thirsty for power. You guys remember Crossfire Hurricane? Oh, the Russia collusion hoax. Remember, all of that stuff was cooked up under the Obamas. All of that stuff was cooked up under the Obamas. And they don't want that stuff to be resurfaced. They don't want themselves, they don't want to be caught out. The fact is, these people would be nothing were it not for the office of the White House. I remember David Limbaugh, the brother of Rush Limbaugh. He wrote a book on them, and he wrote an article too. I mean, just outlining the scandals from Benghazi. I can't believe I did that. And from Benghazi. You guys remember in Benghazi, the Benghazi scandal? Oh, it was a video. That's the reason these people attacked. It was all a video. I mean, this is absolutely insane. It wasn't a video, and you had Hillary Clinton lying. It reads right here. He wrote about this. In addition to the scandalous betrayal and death of our people, Obama and his cohorts concocted and disseminated the lie that the attack on our consulate was caused by an anti-Muslim video. Later, Judicial Watch obtained a smoking gun email from top-level Obama aide Ben Rhodes sent to a dozen members of Obama's inner circle that contained talking points to prepare then U.S. Ambassador Susan Rice for the Sunday talk shows. 3 of the 4 main bullet points Rhodes was advising Rice to convey were patently false, including the lie about the video itself. They knew because the CIA made it clear that the attack was not the result of the spontaneous protest to an anti-Muslim video, but pre-planned by Al-Qaeda. These people are just weak. They've been weak on foreign policy. They've lied about it. They've tried to hide it. They allowed Hillary Clinton to perpetuate this narrative as well when she was running. But they knew about this. So you got Fib, right? You got Fast and Furious. You got the IRS scandal. You got the Benghazi. Scandal. I mean, there's so much that actually there's more. I could go on and on and on. The Obama's failure to pass cap and trade legislation through Congress to purportedly reduce the global temperature by suppressing traditional energy. All of this stuff, man. It's a litany. The Obama-Hillary Clinton FISA scandal, the egregiousness of which is being casually dismissed by many, will someday be fully exposed. He says. Then there's the Iran nuclear deal, Obama's unprecedented federal land grabs, his dismissal of voter intimidation, the case against the new Black Panther Party. You guys don't even remember all of these scandals. I mean, the new Black Panther Party were literally sitting in front of, I forget where it was. I forget where it took place. But anyway, the new Black Panther Party were trying to intimidate voters. That is a straight up federal crime. The people should have been jailed. They were allowed to walk free. They were allowed to walk free. You guys don't remember that. But J6ers, you've got this attorney in D.C. that is still determined to get people that attended the rally on January 6th on public property, going after people that never entered the building, probably never even saw any of the protests. And now he's going to go after more Americans simply because they were Trump supporters. So the dirty little secret is that the Obamas are corrupt. They are not as talented as people would have you believe. They would not be as wealthy and successful as they are. Did they not take advantage of the government teat? All right. They simply would not be. If they were black, I wouldn't doubt that both of these guys were affirmative action recipients. And I'm not necessarily mad at them. I don't know. I mean, they appear to be smart people, but I don't think they're brilliant by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm just tired of them. They've literally destroyed this. They've divided this country so much. They've taken us back to the 1960s. It's absolutely astonishing. It's absolutely astonishing to me. So they're concerned about AI. They're concerned about education. Meanwhile, in the background, you have Barack Obama rallying for Claudine Gay, former Harvard president, to keep her job. She's still making $900,000 by the way, as a professor. She shouldn't even be a professor. That lady cheated so much. She shouldn't even be a professor. She shouldn't be at Harvard. She shouldn't be at the Ivy League. I'm not even sure that she should be on a community college campus. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm dead serious. That lady cheated so much. She should be nowhere near college students. but she gets a pass because she's black. And she gets to be paid $900,000 a year because she's black and the owner of a vagina. I mean, this is astounding to me. What we should be terrified of is if the Obama presence lingers in Washington, D.C. Listen to this. Listen, Gabe, this is a good line. You don't want to miss this. We've got to vote the Obamas out of office in 2024. They have too much influence in the White House. They have too much influence in Washington, D.C. They have too much of a negative influence on this country. These people need to be a thing of the past. Guys, listen, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Again, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. Guys, also, please support my sponsor, Mike Lindell, MyPillow.com. Giza Dream Sheets available for only $29.98. 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. You can give them a call, 800-858-0263. 1-800-858-0263. Mention my name, Carl, or go to the radio podcast square on mypillow.com or click on the radio podcast square. Enter my name, Carl, with a C, C-A-R-L, and all of the deals that are available on mypillow.com will become available to you. So please check them out. Guys, until next time, do not grow weary doing good, and God bless you.